And we should be recording. Is it stalling? It's not supposed to be stalling. Okay, there it goes. Whew! My Streamlabs is having quite the days trying to catch up. Well, it turns out that this garbage tier website, Anime Feminist, has at least 2 bad egg writers in the bunch. Let's see what this article looks like. Let's see. Magical girl genre as a whole is often just stereotyped as blatantly feminine. Characters fight in skirts and frills, love and kindness saves the day. Well, yeah, that's because it's made to cater to women. But there are some edgelord ones. Yuki Yuna is a hero, for one. You haven't seen that one? And you're a bit sensitive? I don't recommend it. That's, oh, man, there's your problem. You're looking at Pure Cure, which is the Netflix one. This place is garbage because, as you people know, look, it's now Fumi, Rising of the Shield Hero. And you should remember this article by Caitlin Moore. We will not be reviewing the Rising of the Shield Hero. Oh, yeah. Of course not. You're third-wave feminist garbage. I wouldn't expect anything less of you. Unfortunately, your bias makes you an unreliable source for news outlets such as, well, let's put it this way. Anime News Network can't call itself a news outlet anymore. It's just that much gone. It's history. But in case you're wondering, since you're so adamant to point out Rising of the Shield Hero is bad, at least bother to look into it a little bit more, and you would find out the person you're cheering for, Malty S. I can't even pronounce her name, also known as Bitch, literally, is the primary antagonist of the series. Of course, she's an evil bitch. Da-da-da! You guys are terrible. Your next one. Oh, I love how you have Reverse Herim anime right here. What was that one? Oh, I forgot what that one was called. But it's Clamp, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I probably don't. Yeah, it is. I remember that guy from the Clamp special. He was in the Clamp special. Let's see. That is not Escaflowne, though. In fact, I have no idea why Escaflowne is listed as an isekai, when in the lore of the world, Gia and Earth are in the same dimension. Last I checked, the primary thing of an isekai anime was that it specifically said that the protagonist is pulled into an alternate dimension. Let's see. What is an isekai? Isekai, okay, that does not help. Let's see. Urban Dictionary. Here we go. Urban Dictionary. Gotta love Urban Dictionary. It usually does have good things. And I have no idea why my internet is slow today. It is very slow. Meaning another world, usually referring to a Japanese story, anime, manga, light novel, or web novel, which involved the main character being transported into another world via either reincarnation, summoning, or a god transmuting them. The setting is usually, but not always, medieval fantasy with swords and magic. So, pretty much this is the definition of an isekai. That is not Escaflowne. That is so much not Escaflowne because which involves the main character being transported to another world. Okay, so it can mildly be considered an isekai, but it's not really an isekai because you're talking about involve the main character, and it's one of those where it's more about the balance between the 2 main characters than the one. It's a very unique thing, but I suppose, yeah, you could consider it an isekai. However, if you're going to talk about what if you're going to talk about what they can learn from 90s isekai and then have the reverse harem pictured here from Clamp, my question is, why did you not go with Mystic Knight's Wraith, which is obviously an isekai? Bottom line is, I can assume that Anime Feminist doesn't do its homework. And I can pretty much assume why it doesn't do its homework is because it's third wave feminist garbage. Their about page. Let's see. The 3 goals they claim to have obtained. Become a hub for the kinds of feminist critique we as feminists, anime and manga fans wanted to see. So you want to be a circle jerk. Well, I gotta hand you points for admitting it. Create a welcoming, inclusive space for which to support single-boosted, underrepresented... You can't do that if you're a feminist. I don't know how many times I had to point this out. You don't care about what men have to say if you're a feminist. In this day and age, apparently. So, this... I could say this goes doubly true for you because you don't particularly care about underrepresented people in the anime and manga industry, because that would mean that you would care more about the men who are trying to enter the industry, who are wanted in the industry, because it's overpopulated by women. Pay everyone fairly for their work. No, you don't. We proved recently that's not one of your agendas. If that is what you want to do for your website, that's one thing. If you want to seriously pay these people as journalists, they need to act like journalists. And right now, I'm not seeing a shred of journalistic credibility coming from any of your articles. I'm seeing just whining about something just because you don't like it. And that's not really good to do if you're trying to do a review and be honest and biased, which is what a journalist is supposed to be, especially a reviewer. Now, your podcast being named Chatty AF could be misconstrued as chatty as fuck. So, just to leave that one out there. You're not the most trusted site. If you were, people would know who you are. I doubt people know who you are. You're just this little pimple on the ass that hasn't been popped yet. I hope to be the first to pop you. But you seem to be more focused on the talking points of intersectional feminists than you do about being, how should I put this, anything other than weirdo, far-left, fringy jackassery. It's just ridiculous. That's it. I'd rather not check out anything on this page anymore. I mean, you're cancer, and you just recently changed it, and it looks like you do nothing but flip around your articles to make it look like you're active. So, go fuck yourself. I'm not even going to deal with this anymore. This is just, I had a whole script planned, and you pretty much threw it away. But as I said, and I've actually talked with people on Heroes Discord about whether or not Escaflowne is an isekai, and we came to the conclusion that it's an isekai in name only. Technically, isekais often involve the character being transported to another dimension, not just another world. And since Earth and Gia exist in the same dimensional plane, it's just one's protected by magic, one isn't. It can't really be considered an isekai. It could be considered sci-fi, but it can't really be considered an isekai. I mean, you've got the basis for sci-fi, and it was originally classified as a science fiction. So, you know, it's one of those, it's not really an isekai. It's not really, it could be argued that it's not really magic that transported her. But in a sense it is. It's weird. Escaflowne is just not something that fits into a category of its own. It could be a category in name, but it's really, if you saw it, you'd understand that. And I didn't expect you to be able to see it. I don't expect you to be a real fan. To me, your articles come off as fake anime fans, and it's really strange for me to say that because I don't think there are any fake fans. I don't want to say that, but your articles seem to be more about the feminist talking points and less about the animes themselves. I can just go to another article and point that out. It's very strange how you would do this, but in a sense, I know what you're trying to pull. It's not going to work. You're talking about an industry that's already stuffed to the gills with basically women as it is. They want more men to a point where they're talking to men's rights activists about incentives they can use to bring men into the industry. I mean, this is well known. Every anime fan and weeb worth their merit that's looked it up and knows anything about Japanese culture, they know that most anime and manga, including Rising of the Shield Hero, is done by women. So there is that to consider. And if you're interested in only covering what women cover, why do you have a picture from Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away? Hayao Miyazaki was one of the men in the industry who pretty much admitted that men are overpaid in the industry because there are so few of them. They are very much respected in the industry, and because there are so few of them, it's more a supply and demand. This, I suppose, goes into why Vic Mignogna was so popular. He had that little boy voice that everybody wanted for their teenage angst protagonists, or something or other. So, you've got all these weird little articles, but again, they seem to be more about the talking points of strange feminism than the animes themselves. You're not doing the animes any justice. And you're trying to endorse these weirdo animes that come out in places like Crunchyroll and Netflix that aren't even, well, some of them aren't even merited as being very, some of them aren't merited as being very high and worthwhile because they're kind of boring. You're not really much for adventure, I can tell. I mean, you wouldn't even watch the first episode of Rising of the Shield Hero because of a accusation the antagonist throws at the protagonist. Come on. At least be professional.